Kayak gets my flight, hotel, and rental car right, so I can tune out travel advice that's just plain wrong.
Bro, SkyCoin. Way better than points.
Never fly during a Scorpio full moon.
Just tell the manager you'll sue. Instant room upgrade.
Stop taking bad travel advice. Start comparing hundreds of sites with Kayak and get your trip right. Kayak. Got that right.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Sunday morning. With us like every Sunday, Lynn Shaw. How do we take care of our kids? How do we watch our kids? Tell us, give us an update of what's going on in are Americans getting the word that we have to pay extra attention to make sure our kids grow up the right way?
Good morning, John. Well, they're going to get the word right here on the Cats Roundtable because we're going to make sure they get the word and hear it. We're going to have a bit of a tutorial today, a refresher, because you can't just, throw these things out at the public and just let it go. We got to keep going back, remind them, kind of brainwash them. All of this is happening and steps to take to keep the kids safe. Now, I'm going to say today there is a war for our children's screens. Everybody knows what that means. The phones, the computers, the laptops, the Chromebooks, the gaming. Everybody seems to forget about gaming, which primarily boys are on, okay? But I want everybody to wake up, America. Listen up. No, first of all, no legislation. Let's be honest here. No legislation can replace parental involvement in your child's screen life. It's going to become something like you get up, you brush your teeth, you eat, you go to school, you go to work, you go to bed. You got to check your kids' screen time and their devices and talk to them. I don't care if it's 5, 10 minutes a day. It's got to become part of the daily routine. We're sounding an alarm. Let me give you some stats. So human trafficking, I just got a new report in. This is a global report, but over $530 billion was made, from human trafficking last year. Now, I'm going to connect it, John, so hold on for a second.
Say that number again.
Over $530 billion, was made from human trafficking. Now, that's what we know about. So remember, if that's what we know about, the numbers are always higher. That's worldwide. But this is the important thing also. Every year, approximately 22 to 25%, it increases. Okay, these are 2025 stats. Now, the fastest growing trend is forced criminality, meaning kids are forced into criminal activities. And there's money to be made, so what happens? They go where they can make the money, the criminals, the predators, and that's online. And that's where our kids are. So I want to, kids aren't to blame. They've grown up in the digital bubble. They're growing up with technology. They're growing up inside it. The phones, right? The private messaging systems, the DMs, not the playgrounds like we did, but spending hours a day. We always talk about this online. But behind many of these apps are these predators, these scammers, and these criminal networks. Again, the bottom line is they make money, they exploit, and we're handing them our kids, right? But I want to focus in today on Roblox. Roblox is one of the biggest. Roblox is an online gaming platform where kids can create games, they can learn coding, they can share games, with other strangers on there, and those strangers can share back. Here's the thing, though. There's no age limit. So we have a lot of kids on Roblox, because I ask every parent, do you know what Roblox is? And they're like, oh, yeah, my child's on it. I'm like, do you know what it is? I don't know. They're playing games. So parents think because their child is quiet or in the bedroom with the door closed, that they're safe. And that is the biggest mistake, because Roblox, we've got about 150 million daily users, and about 25 million are in the United States, and about 65% of those are kids 13 and under. Okay, so right there, you've got predators who can manipulate young minds. So what they do, John, is they get the kids to go into these anonymous spaces such as the DMs, the direct messaging, the private messaging, and that leads to direct contact between adults and minors. And it's the perfect environment for grooming, sextortion, and exploitation, fueling all this, not only in the United States, it's global human trafficking that doesn't seem to be able to stop. So we as the adults, as the caregivers, have to realize that strangers are on these platforms, in these digital rooms with our kids, and so we've got to take action. So what are we going to do? Here's what we're going to do. First of all, we're going to talk about it. We got to keep talking about it and talking about it, because when parents understand the risks, they act. I'm telling you, when I teach them, when I show them, they act. So communities must start standing together, acting together, get involved in your school, talk to your children.
The other problem is that some of this artificial intelligence, when they
that's another problem.
When they get children to talk to them.
Those are the chatbots, John. They're called chatbots.
Yes, and the children start to believe that they're talking to a real person.
That is so devastating. We really need to do a full hour on that. I kid you not, because kids are isolated enough being on these devices 6 to 9 hours a day. Now they're creating a digital friend. Remember, it's a machine. These bots are not real. You think they're real. The kids do. They're young, little, developing minds. Even the teens, they're getting this bot to create it the way they want, and the bot's telling them what they want to hear. But, John, the kicker is eventually the bot can go wild and start telling kids, and we have lots of cases, urging kids to commit suicide, urging kids to hurt their family members, urging kids to do all kinds of, again, criminality, which is why this human trafficking is rising and making so much money, right? So we have to talk to our kids. Again, I'm going to repeat, legislation is great. We work on it nonstop. But nothing replaces a parent's involvement. So you've got to ask them what apps they're using. You got to check privacy settings. They're on the devices. Yes, it's difficult, but you can write to lynswarriors.org. I will tell you how to put the privacy on there. We have protectyoungminds.com, step-by-step. Every single device and app, we put how you do it to help you out. Keep the devices out of the bedrooms at night. Kids need their sleep. They don't need to be up scrolling all night, swiping, looking, and that's where dangerous things happen. They're talking to strangers. They do things, believe it or not, we have studies, in the bedroom at night, they ordinarily wouldn't do, egged on by strangers. So we're not going to have any of that. And make sure your children know. This is very important. If they do something, no matter what it is online, we got to swallow it, John. We got to say, you come to us. We don't care if you've shared a nude image. We don't care if it's sexual dialogue. Don't let a predator win. Because here's the bottom line. If the child and the family just ignored that person who's trying to sextort, cyberbully, ignored them and blocked them, John, the person would go away because they're on to the next person to exploit. So we've got to keep reminding everybody about all of these things and taking action, because when parents know the truth, our kids are all safer.
Thank you so much for coming on this Sunday morning, and let's catch up again real soon. And thank you for keeping our kids, attempting to keep our kids safer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. We'll talk again soon.